This painting right here wasn't actually painted during the Revolutionary War, but it depicts one of the most infamous events of that conflict, the death of Jane McCrea in 1777 during John Burgoyne's British campaign to invade New York during the Revolutionary War. Her experience and the legacy of her killing get to the heart of some of the complexities of the Revolutionary War and their legacies long after that conflict was over. Jane McCrea came from an American colonial family, but was in fact engaged to a Loyalist officer even while her brother served in the Continental Army, showing again the divisions of this conflict as truly a civil war. The exact events surrounding her death may never be exactly known. There were many stories even in the moment, but it is clear she was killed at the hands of Native Americans that were allied to the British Army. And this, whether it was accidental or purposeful, was certainly something that was played up by Americans who used this to kind of hang over the heads of the British, even in their defeat, showing that the British were not playing at civilized war. And really, in some ways, Jane McCrea became a martyr for the American cause, again, even though she was engaged to a Loyalist. Her death, though, at the hands of Native Americans made the event kind of tinged with overtones of racial violence that continued to have significance throughout American history. And although her direct impact on the campaign was fairly marginal, Americans were able to promote a sense of her death as something, again, that they could jab the British at, but it didn't result in greater reinforcements or enlistments for the American cause during the war itself, but it was used afterwards, ultimately to justify Indian removal and some of the racialized policies of the American government in the later 18th and 19th centuries, when this painting, in fact, was created at the end of the 1830s, painted by Durand, an American artist, for a European audience. Alexander Watmar, who was a Frenchman creating a kind of lending library of American art and scientific collections that would travel across Europe, ultimately to its home in Paris. So it's interesting to see that this story, which gets to the heart of some of these complex and uncomfortable realities of the American Revolution, was one that was designed not even for a national audience, but an international one, showing just how much Jane McCrea's death lingered on in the cultural memory of Americans well after the Revolution was over.